Yes, we are. Welcome to the Arsenal show. I'm sure you can work out who that was. It wasn't Tom Jones. It was Jerome Marks.
Wasn't it?
Brilliant.
What nice seats you got, Jerome.
They're good, yeah.
What's that, block 91?
They're good ones. 112.
Oh, yeah.
112. Yeah, they're good, yeah. Yeah, they're good ones.
112 or 2-1.
I've had the honour of sitting there. Very nice.
Yeah.
There we go. Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live. We've got plenty to talk about. Most importantly, the emphatic win the other day against Wolves. We had 3 eyes on the ground. Simon, you was there as well, weren't you?
No, sadly
you
not.
Wasn't.
Sadly not. One of the few that I miss.
One of the few that he's missed. But we did have Con there and we did have Jerome there. So we're going to hear what they've got to say about the game live. But first of all, we're going to introduce everyone. Firstly, we've got Steve Kane. How you doing, Steve?
I'm bouncing, screaming, laughing and dancing, mate. That's how I feel today.
There we go. We've got Con at Marble Halls in. How you doing, Con?
Yeah, what's happening, boys? Thanks for having me again.
Good. We've got Simon Lester in.
I'm 3 points better than what I was this time last week. So I'm very happy.
That's good. Yes, as I said before, it's 2 down, 14 to go, I think it is. And we've got, as you heard him there, loud and clear, it's Jerome Marks. How you doing, Jerome?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Don't worry. I won't be doing any singing on this show. Don't worry.
If it's anything like that, I think we'd be joining in, mate. Don't worry. When I first heard that, I was like, what an atmosphere. So first of all, we're going to go to you first, seeing as you was there the other day. Give us your breakdown of the game. First of all, how was the atmosphere? I'm hearing it was like Champions League night all over again.
Incredible after the game as well. The good thing is that because of how tight the game was and because of what was sort of on the line for us, the stadium was really full towards the end of the game. And also, like after the final whistle, normally people are hurrying to sort of, catch their trains or, go to the pub or something. So there's not a queue, perhaps. But after the game, people were just staying around in their seats, singing. You never normally see that at Arsenal. It was a bit special. And to be honest with you, obviously it was against Wolves, a team that we were sort of maybe up until then competing with, but because of the nature of the win, I think even if it was against a lower league team, just because of what's on the line for us at the moment, I think it would have been probably a similar type of atmosphere if that was the case against any other team in the league. But yeah, like you said, just really, really great atmosphere and so much positivity at the end of the game. Yeah, amazing to be there.
All right. Con, what was your thoughts on the game and the atmosphere as well?
Oh, mate. Well, where I sit in club level and it's like right above the away fans. So it's like block 73. It's like I sit here and they're literally directly below me. And obviously I thought because you remember when they scored and it got given offside and the VAR went on for ages. Obviously in the ground you can't see it. And I took my missus with me. And I was like, they're going to give a goal here. 1-0 down. But when they didn't score, I was thinking, yes, touch. Then 2 minutes later, they score. And it's I don't know. Simon, you go to games. Jerome, you go to games. I feel like this season, I don't get the moans and groans as much this season. Everyone seems to be behind the team. You can sort of relate to the team. And it was just a brilliant night. It was one of them nights where I think if I wasn't there, I'd think, I wish I was there. It's brilliant from start to finish, singing all game, really got behind the team. And when the first one went in, I thought, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take a draw. The way the game's gone, we looked like we wasn't going to break them down.
Yeah.
To get that in the 95th minute, it was just football karma at its best after some poor gamesmanship from the Wolves players. And it was brilliant. I won't say what I've done, but where I was I was going mental. So it's brilliant. It's one of them. I lost myself at the time.
You go back about 30 years in age, don't you?
Yeah, no, because you get all programs. I was giving it all the programs. It was blinding because they were giving, because you're sitting there they look at you to give it to you all game. And I couldn't do nothing because we was losing. And then we scored, I'll give it. Then when we scored the winner, I just absolutely lost my head. It is brilliant. It is brilliant. Really good performance. And them sort of wins are the sort of wins that can really galvanise. We keep saying this every week, like it's galvanising wins, but I don't know, the character of this team, they're really playing for the manager, and I think we've got a really good, strong chance of getting top 4 if we carry on playing the way we're playing. So it was a brilliant performance and a brilliant night.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something that I noticed is after we conceded the goal, the crowd were like really singing songs, chanting.
Double down.
Literally, as soon as we were on 1-0 down, and I think people probably saw that Ramsdale video and his reaction to the goal. Like there was no negativity at all. It was like the fans trying to get behind the team, trying to sort of help them out, and that's a big difference to how things have been.
Yeah, definitely. I think you said it there as well, Con, galvanising, and we have said it multiple times this season, and I think that's why it's bringing the fans together. It's bringing the connection with the players and the fans, because that's what is relatable. It's that okay, when the chips are down, keep on going and don't give up. And if you can see that, even if there is a loss, it's like, look, you've given it everything. We appreciate that, and that's all fans ask for. Steve, remind us, what was the feeling when that Lacazette 95th minute goal went in?
I mean, Peter Drury, what a man! I mean, that commentary will stay with me forever, and he's my new hero. That bloke, Martin Tyler, you are at. I would love to have been there. I was, unlucky enough to be seeing some kind of thing on TV Mongolia or something like that. I don't know what I was watching, but I'd just like to apologise to the people who I definitely got Odegaard wrong. I give him a 6 the other day, and he definitely was a 6. But I don't blame that on me. I blame that on TV Mongolia. But it's just we've all been to plenty of Champions League nights over the years at Highbury and at the Emirates, and that was something that was going back to them days again. You could see the passion in the crowd, the passion on the pitch. When we scored the goal, the faces of the players. I mean, I don't think I've ever been that crazy in here. I mean, I was watching it on my own in here, and I was running around the house like a crazy person. And I haven't done that for a long time. And it's just this team. It's this team all over the place, right from goalkeeper right up until to Lacazette. And we've said before, we've given this guy pelters, week in, week out, or some of us have, me included. But I've got to hold my hands up, and I've got to apologise to the guy. He was outstanding the other night, and I just wish he was 6 years older, and they probably would have found a new position for him. But yeah, incredible night, incredible result. I mean, if you could have those results done that way every week, I think you take it, because coming out of the ground afterwards, you're just on a high. I haven't come down yet. I seriously haven't come down from just that one result. But this just keep on going, not get carried away. But unbelievable, fantastic.
Yeah, Simon, bit of a first half was kind of a bit, I don't know. There was moments of some real quality, but then Wolves were sort of, especially for the first 15 minutes, it seemed like Wolves were just relentless. And then we started to get into the game, and the second half, it really started going. We were just non-stop. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, in theory, it started the way it finished a fortnight earlier at Wolves. Basically, they had more of the ball, and we weren't firing on all cylinders, I would say. Give away a poor goal, but as what's already been mentioned, that these things happen. So it's just get on with it, and we move on. But second half, there was only really, I think they had one very good chance in the second half. The lad who scored he put it across the goal and it just missed in the far post there. But you can't argue with that. And what a way to win a game, to win like that, an important game, and to do the double over Wolves. I mean, I now, that's it. As far as I'm concerned, I've discounted them from anywhere near the top four. That's another team that's dropped off the cliff. But really, really good. And we've all said it. You go to bed on a high that night with the way you win the game. Now, if we wind the clock back a week to when we were doing this show this time last week, I said that I thought Burnley would put up a real solid case in the Spurs game, and they did. So obviously, even before we played, that was a pep. We then sort of done the business on the Thursday, and I mean, none of us would have suggested that Watford would have got anything at Old Trafford on Saturday. So, as sort of 3 or 4 days went last week, it couldn't really have gone any better for us. So I get the people saying that you've just got to ignore other results and it's in our hands. It is in our hands, but we're not going to win 14 games. We are going to drop some points. So obviously, any little buffer that we can build into our situation makes it much better for us. But I would say that it's a shame, really, we weren't playing again on the Sunday, because they must have been on such a high after coming off of that pitch on Thursday night that it would have been nice to have played that game straight away. However, we get another sort of 10 days off before we have to regroup again this week. But yeah, great. I mean, sadly, I wasn't at this one. But, you can imagine what it's like when the goal goes in. And I can only imagine how brilliant, as Jerome said, what it was like in the stadium. The atmosphere has been great all season, I think. And a finish like that would have just been perfect.
Yeah. Jerome, how much was a game changer was Nicolas Pepe when he came on?
Yeah, he does offer something different, doesn't he? And I guess at that time in the game, trying to break a team down that's sitting deep, that he could produce Carney. Maybe not the most, maybe not sort of all the time, but maybe not the most consistent. But in these moments against tired legs, it's a great sub to bring on, Pepe. And yeah, he had a hand in both the goals, and he just looked dangerous when he was near in and around the box. Fair play to him, because he could be sulking not being in the team, but he's coming on and he's doing exactly what the team needs, and fair credit to him as well. And Nketiah made a difference as well, but yeah. Pepe was great, and I don't know if he'll start the next game, but
it's an option.
It's an option, yeah, definitely an option.
Yeah, sure. Con, how much was the Nketiah and Pepe substitute needed in that game? How much of a difference did it make?
Well, when I thought to myself, we've got to change the way we're playing. It was getting to that point, and I thought, they're very comfortable with what we're doing. We had the odd half chance, like I said, had the odd half chance. But when he originally brought on Pepe for Martinelli, I thought, he's just doing a like for like. We need a change of. We need to give them something different to think about. And then when he took off Cedric for Nketiah and changed the shape completely, I think that's what done Wolves, because then what it done was Nketiah and Lacazette could then go through the middle. And then Pepe was out one wing, Saka was out on the other, and Odegaard was pushing up. So the defenders had so much to think about, and that was what eventually led to being able to let Eddie run onto that little dink ball from Odegaard, because they had too much to think about. They couldn't keep up with all the runners, and I think it was a good move from Arteta. You got to give him credit sometimes. I know we always slate Nketiah. We think he's not good enough, which I still don't think he is. But what he did do is he come on and he worked his socks off, tried to win every single ball, went for every second ball. And look, he's not going to be an Arsenal player for much longer, but that's all you ask for. Just when you do come on, put in the shift. I thought Pepe was brilliant when he come on. I honestly think he's our best finisher at the club. Like
that turn and finish was unreal, weren't it?
He's our best finisher that we've got left. I mean, Saka and stuff, Smith Rowe, brilliant. But I'm on about composure to take a touch, turn, and put it away. And he's just got that something different. That Martinelli's very 100 miles per hour. I think he's just got that. He's just got that thing where he can just do something out of nothing, and it doesn't happen enough. That's why he doesn't start.
Mm-hmm.
But he has got that performance in him when he can come on and do something and really turn the game on his head. And I think he was detrimental to us getting the 3 points. But what I like most is we got that goal, and straight away they went on the break. And I remember Neto had a chance and sort of dragged it. And I was thinking, boys, just calm down, just take.
It was actually a great block by Gabriel.
Was it a block?
It was a quality block. Yeah. It should have been a corner, but it was.
Right.
They got it wrong. It was a great block. What was going in?
Just take the one. We've got a point, but don't go gung ho now. And little did I know, we went and got a second. But I just thought that's a sign of a good manager at home. You know how important the 3 points are, and to just go for it and think, you know what, we either win this game or we lose this game. We're not drawing it, and we kept going, and we got what we deserved in them. So I think we was the better team for 75 minutes of that game. So we got finally got a result which we deserve. So it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Steve, how good was it to see Arsenal pushing forward after that first goal? Worrying slightly, but courageous, some would say.
Yeah, it was those two words, worrying and courageous. But what I feel with this team, I mean, they're just fearless. They're fearless. You can see when they're not just in this game, whenever they're playing anybody, when they played against Man City, when they played against Liverpool, there's no fear. They don't care who they're playing. They might get beat 2-0 or 3-0 or lose a game, or they might not play well, but they're just fearless. And why is that? I mean, what has Arteta done with these set of players that's different? And I don't think he's probably done much. I just think that the players that we've had over the last few years, they've had this, how can I put it, this continuous what's the word? Continuous run of failure, where they're just used to failing, every single season, or they're used to not going that extra step, or they're used to getting to a certain part of the season. These guys just don't care. And I think that's because they're young, and I think that's because they're a new set of players. They don't know this. They've not got this fear of losing. They haven't got this fear of when it gets to a certain part of the season, that they haven't got this mentality problem where they go, oh, we're now in November, this is where we fail. Because the team's been changed now. It's been changed. The backs have been changed. The midfields has been different. The forward line's different because we've got the young kids coming through now. Yeah, you've now got a team there that will just go and go and go because they've got no fear. And I feel it's because it's a new team, and I really think now, the more I've seen them, the more confident I'm getting that they've got this top four, because I just think they've got the bit between the teeth. And I really do believe it's really important that people can see that this is a new side. Because how many times have I seen it this week? How many times have I seen it on podcasts, on a Man United and the Tottenham? I watch a movie now and then, and they're saying, yeah, but Arsenal's going to fail. They're going to get to this point. Yeah, they always do. And I'm screaming at the TV, and I'm saying, not this team. You're bringing up the old team. You're bringing up the old Arsenal when we had so-and-so in it, when we had the Koscielny's in it. You know the team. You know the players I'm talking about, the ones who've got out, the ones who just give up, who couldn't be bothered. This is a team that will battle, and they don't know the meaning of the word loss, and that's what happened the other night. Just continuous, just trying to get that goal, and then and that goes to on the bench as well, because you've got players like Pepe who we haven't got. There's no one like Pepe in our team. Nobody can do Pepe. I can imagine Pepe on the training pitch. I can imagine him just doing things that no one else is doing. Absolutely no one. Yeah. And he, to me, is a confident player. And at the moment, he's on this run. I know he was in AFCON. He played well in AFCON. He did great against Brentwood. He come on. He won us the game against Wolves. And again, off the bench, fearless. He's not used to being. He's not in that sort of bunch of players who, not losers, but that's just where they've been scared. And I just love it. It's just that don't know when to lose attitude, which you need to get into Champions League. You need to, maybe in the 2 seasons, challenge for the title. I love it, mate. It's great. It's good times.
Yeah, no, it is. Simon, another player who's playing well at the moment and finding his feet this season, especially, is Thomas Partey. First half, very composed a lot of the time, winning the ball, kind of on his own in that midfield where Granit Xhaka was able to push forward a lot more, where Wolves were sitting back quite a lot. Do you think we're seeing the best of Thomas Partey now?
Well, interesting that he a couple of months ago, didn't he, came out and sort of gave himself a bit of a poor mark for his performances since he's been at Arsenal.
4 out of 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, since then, certainly if you said this year, because the City game, he was my man of the match in that City game. But since then, he appears to have stepped it up, and he's got his big player mentality. He's obviously got a great few years at Atletico behind him. Maybe he's finally finding his feet in the Premier League, and whatever you want to say about certain players, but him and Xhaka are our best combination in the middle of the park. So you've got to hope that those two stay where they. If you think we're playing virtually a 4-2-4, aren't we, with those two in the middle of the park? So he has done well. For me, the next is we've got 14 games left. The next 7, to me, are more important than the last 7, because I think if we push on from here, I think we can get ourselves, looking at other fixtures and looking at our fixtures, I think we can get ourselves into an excellent position after the next 7 games. So I think, to me, March is massive, right up to the middle of April. I think we might not be playing the Uniteds and the Chelseas, but I just think the next 7 games are absolutely crucial to set us up for where we need to be. Because if you can build that sort of buffer between us and maybe teams chasing us, a few more dodgy. We all know that Man United have got City, Liverpool, and Spurs as the next 3 games. So good luck to them if they get 9 points out of those games. I can't see that happening. Spurs, I think, had a good result of the weekend, but they were in turmoil last week. So we just need to just one game at a time. But I've looked at the fixtures, and the next 7 are certainly a lot easier than the last 7. So we've got to cash in, for my mind, on those fixtures.
All right, yeah. No, I agree. That's Watford next, Leicester, Liverpool at home, Aston Villa away from home, Crystal Palace and Brighton. And then even Southampton on that. You win those games.
Can I just say something about Thomas Partey? It's just something that I read today, which I thought was really interesting. Firstly, I think he's doing fantastic at the moment. Secondly, I think there's still more to come from Thomas, which to me is fantastic, because I think he's really good at the moment. But there's something that he was in an interview in a Spanish newspaper, talking about the partnership with Granit Xhaka, and he was saying that he needs to be happy in a partnership. And he was saying that when he was at Atletico Madrid, he was in a partnership with. Sometimes he played with Koke, and sometimes he played with Saul at Madrid. And for some reason, he just couldn't. He didn't feel comfortable in that. And then when Rodriguez started playing with Rodriguez, and he said he loved that. And he loved that partnership with him. And probably not the main big name that you would probably pick. You'd probably pick one of the other 2 as a better player, maybe. And he said he feels comfortable now. He feels comfortable now at Arsenal. He feels comfortable playing with Granit Xhaka. You know, they've got a thing going together. And yeah, it was a really good interview. And I think it was just a matter of, you know, the way Thomas was playing, that I think Simon just said that, you know, I think it was just a matter of getting used to a partner, getting used to the league. And yeah, I just thought it was a really good interview. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll have to take a look. Jerome, Thomas Partey, starting to tick in that midfield. Sorry, a bit of consistency. Looking good. How was he on the weekend?
Yeah. Another excellent performance. He's at the moment, it seems as though he's not in the midfield on his own, but he's got a bit more space than what he normally has.
Yeah, because Xhaka's pushing forward, playing as number 8, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. But like you've just said, his performances have like improved like quite notably. Like it's very obvious that he's playing well. It's when he's not playing so well, it's when it sort of stands out a bit more, isn't it? Like when he's making mistakes, like lazy balls or overhits a pass, which seems quite easy. But if he's on his game like he has been recently, like he's top draw and he can make a massive difference to our team. And yeah, hopefully he sort of stays fit for the remainder of the season, because you know, when him and Xhaka have been in the middle, like the record's pretty good. And I think that's they're a big reason why we've been doing so well. I think partly because the people that maybe come into those positions obviously aren't as good as those guys, so it affects the team a lot. But no one could probably do that job that Partey's doing apart from him in that team. Like you take him out of that team, then there's a big drop in quality for the next person that goes into that position. So yeah, he's been excellent.
Con, you said that Thomas Partey was the key player for a Wolves game again. Do you think he was one of the key players?
Yeah, I think to be honest, he's just, if he plays, like I said, if he plays well, we tend to play well. He's so important. Like obviously, if you played football, you know how important that centre midfield position is. It's just the anchor of everything goes through there. You can start attacks from there. You can stop attacks from there. He's so important to how Mikel, I think, wants to play. And I think he's actually tweaked it a little bit. If you noticed, I've only started noticing it the last couple of weeks, but Xhaka is like one of our furthest forward players. Like it's weird. It's almost like Xhaka goes forward and Odegaard drops in to like a sort of just in front of Partey, and then Xhaka sort of goes in front of him. It's a bit weird the way it's done, but when there's balls into the box, it's always Lacazette and Xhaka who's in the box. And I don't know if that's being worked on, but I've noticed it a few times, and I've always thought, I wonder what they're doing there, and I haven't got my head around it, but it's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, he's important to what we're trying to do. I think we've been waiting for him to really start to put in these performances like consistently, because we know what he can do. We see it when he's at Atletico, and we've seen it in patches during the time he's been here. But I think if we're going to do, from us doing well, if you've noticed, he's potentially our player of the month this month, just from consistently putting in 8 out of 10 performances. He's just one of them. He can just he takes the ball on a half turn, and he's just straight away looking forward, and he just plays it out wide. Because with Xhaka, what I notice is with football, you've got to switch it quickly. You can't do 3 or 4 passes, because then the team who's defending just shifts over with the ball. You've got to have a player who can pick it up and just switch it first time, so that then the defenders are all trying to shift over, and then that's when you leave gaps. And I think that's why he's so important, because he's got that range of passing. He hasn't got the range of shooting, I know that for sure. But he gives it. He gets the ball and gives it, and that's what I like about him. And he ain't afraid to put his foot in. He's just a beast of a midfielder, and I think if he can stay fit between now and the end of the season, we'll go a very long way to getting this top 4. I don't want to put myself in it and say we've got it as confident as I do feel, but I think he's detrimental now every single game. If he plays well, I think we'll have a good chance of winning no matter who we play, whether it's Liverpool, Chelsea, whoever. I think if he plays well, we tend to play well.
Yeah, no, I agree. Johnny says none of the remaining games are a foregone conclusion. I'm a long way from being confident that we are going to remain consistent at this point. Johnny, have more confidence, mate. To be fair, there's nothing so far I've seen this season that's having me sort of feel that there's going to be big up and downs in the season. We went on. I wanted to see how we'd react after a loss, and we reacted well. I wanted to see how we'd react potentially after a couple of losses, and we reacted well. So it's hard to see where any sort of. I'm not saying it's top 4 written in the stars, 100% happening, but I'm just looking at this team, and there's no sort of worry like it's like, they're going to mess it up. I'm not seeing that at the moment. If we look at the consistency they had from the second half of the last season, really, really good. Then onto this season, a bad start, but we've seen what this team needs to have their best players to keep on ticking. And then since then, they've kicked on. Granit Xhaka comes back in the team and partners with Thomas Partey. There's been a bit more fluidity in that sense. And then since then, it's just got better and better. So yeah. I see what you're coming from, Johnny, but there's not a worry that they're going to mess it up. But we'll see. I'm more confident than ever now that we're getting to the final run into the season, that we can do this. Steve, the process. Surely everyone's got to be on board. Is it working now?
It's been working for a long while. It's been working for the last 2 years. People just, have just got to look hard enough. I think we touched last week on what he's brought into the club, what he's done to the club, all the changes that he made. I just don't think now we're just not far off now. When you take the team into consideration, if you take it as a process, you take the defence. We're probably looking in 3 different parts. He's probably looking at defences, his process working there's that going forward, and some. He's looking at the midfield. He sees Xhaka, he sees Partey. I think Xhaka's becoming mega more important now, because I'd be scared stiff to sell Xhaka if Partey's playing as well as he does, and if Partey continues going on the way he does, then I think it's imperative that we keep Xhaka. Because I think they'll get a good, even better as time goes on. I think we need a midfield player. I still don't think the Con was ready yet after we've seen him. So there's maybe a bit of work going there. And obviously we all know about the forwards. We know there needs work doing there. Behind the scenes, he's getting it sorted. He's putting his own stamp on what he feels is right, and whatever, if there's a few things that I think that maybe I wouldn't have done, I'm going to stand by him anyway, and everything's going the right way. Everything's going the right way. It's, you're seeing the players off the pitch. That's part of the process. You've got to look at players that are coming in. When you've got your Hutchinsons, you've got your Azizes, they're on the borders of coming in. You've got your Swansons, you've got players like this. These are all top players. These are the ones, the next Sackers, the next Smith Rowes, the next Martinellis. So yeah, the process is on its way. And I mean, how can you not? I mean, is there actually anything that he's done wrong? I find it hard to pick out something that the guy has actually, we can say, Tuttle, you've done that wrong. Yeah, he's picked the wrong teams at times. He might have wanted to pick a player that he shouldn't have, that he could have played. But every manager on the planet's going to be wanting to do that. But I love him as Arsenal manager. I'm glad that they're going to sign him up on a new contract. I think they've got to, get that done as soon as possible. And as far as people out there who was still Arteta out or can't see the process, then I don't know. I haven't got more. Don't know what more to say to them. But you've only got to see just on the picture where we are in the league. 4th place. Look, if we don't get 4th place, Is that a failure to me? No, it's not a failure. You know, you've already said there that, you know, we're going well. You know, you can see us getting fourth. If we get fourth, is it a failure? No, it's not a failure. You know, because we may be, if Man United were doing their thing, they would probably be above us. So we've still got a bit of work to do. He'll know we've got work to do. That's all part of what you were saying there, which is called the process. So there's still work to do, mate. There's still things to be done. We're not totally perfect yet. We're not a bang on stamp on Champions League side yet. But as far as the process goes, it's going in the right direction. And yeah, I'm right behind him.
All right. Firstly, I'll answer this. Plenty to worry about if we argue, if we defend against Wolves like we did. Like I hear this all the time, man. I hear it all the time. The when we come up against a better team, if we come up against a better team, I hear it all the time. There's literally 2 teams in the league that you'd have to worry about conceding those sorts of goals against. That's Man City and Liverpool. Man United have been trashed this season. Tottenham have been dogged this season. Yeah, Chelsea have scored nowhere near amount as any goals they should have. Kane's a damp squib this season. Absolutely done nothing. So this talk of against a better team, like we're one of those better teams this year. There's no team that I'm worried about that's going to score them goals apart from maybe a Chelsea, apart from maybe a Liverpool. Other than that, there's no worry. Like Hwang's miss was a save. Let's not forget that. It was a great save from Ramsdale. And Ramsdale's been on tip-top form this season. Yeah, every team concedes chances. Man City concede chances, Liverpool concede chances. Like you won't go through a game where a team does not concede a chance. It's very, very rare. So yeah, it's not a worry for me in the slightest. Arsenal aren't giving away that many chances. Yes, teams are getting not shots off on goal, but they're getting in and around the box. But that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Like we can't nullify teams completely. Like I don't know what other games people are watching to think that a team doesn't have a chance on goal. A keeper doesn't make a save. Alisson makes saves. Like Ederson makes saves. Otherwise, they'd just stick anyone in goal. I'm just not buying it. Simon, is the process working? Is you seeing progress?
It is for me. Obviously, this lad in the comments is disputing what we're sort of talking about. But I mean, that unfortunately is a type of negativity that we've to me has largely sort of gone away this season because I'm only seeing positive things. Let's look at some confirmed stats. We've got the 3rd best home record in the league with only 7 home games left to go. So it's only City and Liverpool that have got a better home record than us. So if that's not progress, you know, I think everyone's going to admit that maybe Liverpool and City are on a different pedestal to the other teams at the moment. So if we take them out of the equation, we're actually top.
There we go.
Yeah. So I think we've got pretty much. We haven't got the finished article team-wise, but if you can't see what's going on, that we basically the guillotine has come down on a lot of players that weren't pulling their weight, weren't able to play in the system that we want to work going forward, weren't interested and were just there for a payday, or journeymen that had turned up and were just earning their money by turning up for training every week and not getting near the side. So we've moved all them on. There may be another couple that we need to move on as well, but we're not going to do that till the end of the season. But for me, do you think teams are looking at Arsenal then and saying, "Yeah, that's great. We're going to the Emirates this weekend. We're going to get 3 points there," because the statistics don't back that up. You know, we're winning games that maybe last season or the season before. Another stat is we've got more points at home this season than what we got at the whole of last season. So the improvement is there. We're not glossing it up. We're not just sitting here making these figures up. They're facts. And when you're dealing in facts, there's got to be a basis behind it. So as far as I'm concerned, things are improving. I think we've got a much, much, much better defence than what we've had for many, many seasons at the back. They're all pulling together. we've got options there. Cedric, for the last 3 games, has actually come in and played pretty well. He's filled in for Tommy Acker, and I'll give him his due. He hasn't really put a foot wrong. He's done well there. But certainly the centre of that defence and the goalkeeper, if you don't think that's progress from last season, then you're clearly not looking at the same games that I've been looking at this year.
100% agree. Sorry, Jerome, what's the noises like in the stands with regards to Arteta and the progress and the process? What are the fans in the ground saying?
You know what, Simon and Con might be able to answer that better than me, just because I think they probably have been more regularly than me. But the people that I've sat with the last couple of games and been in and around, it's only been positive stuff coming out of them. Because I think as fans we've realised that any negativity that we have towards the manager, like you said there, Kieran Arteta, or the players, it's not going to help us. Like, it's not going to help. So I think the fans have realised that. That's why after we conceded the goal the other night, they weren't booing, because what's the point of that? They were cheering. They were trying to get them back into the game and help them. And I think Arteta has been a big part of that. When he first came into the club, he spoke about the culture, trying to win the fans back. And it may have taken maybe a couple of seasons, but he's doing it. And yeah, so I think most level-headed fans at the moment are sort of fully behind Arteta, because you were talking about the progress just now. It's like, it's painfully obvious to see. And there was something that I saw the other day, the last 10 weeks, how Arsenal have done, and they're out there with Liverpool and City are the top 3 teams at the moment. The last 10 weeks, and before that, we were sort of in a bit of a mix with Spurs, United, and we've just sort of pulled away. The last 10 weeks has been an even bigger improvement, and Arteta's got to take some credit for that. And like you said, this isn't the finished article. He's got another transfer window where you'll probably see a couple of big signings come in that will hopefully make an even bigger difference to this team.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just sorry, Colin, I know you're going to be next. I think Arsenal fans have got to understand what the word process means. I just see I've been comment, why not? Thanks for being here. But you were saying about Emery, and he was finishing 5th, and that's better. That wasn't progress. Yeah, it was the end of an era. That was Arsenal's team at the 100%. End, right? Process, is to achieve a particular end. So what that means is you are in a team, there's a team building that's not building yet, but it's going in the right direction, that will eventually get to its end. So hopefully people will take that in.
Let's not forget that Emery, although he didn't get every one of his players that he wanted, there were still players in that team that were his team. Plus, there's no wonder that the board stopped him from bringing in players, because he wanted Steven Nzonzi. He wanted Wilfred Zaha, who now, imagine trying to get rid of Wilfred Zaha with a 3-year left on his contract. It's not going to happen. And he's going to be sitting on however much a week, and we're going to be in the same situation where, again, with the likes of Ozil, not saying that his attitude would have been that way, but it would have been the same thing. We'd have been trying to get rid of these players who are at the end of their careers, or with no sell-on value, and it would have been a nightmare. Kevin Hoffland, Steven Nzonzi, these were the names going about that Emery wanted. Like, I don't know, like, just research. It's all there. It's out there. Yes, he wanted Fabinho. Yes, he wanted Wilfred Zaha. But that's not the direction the club wanted to go. It weren't the direction. And I'm glad that wasn't the direction the club wanted to go, because there was no longevity in that. It was all about the here and now, and that's what was not working. The likes of David Luiz, who done a lot better than what I thought he would have done when he came here. But that was not working. The here and now players weren't working. It needed longevity. It needed a project. And this is what it is now. Part of that process, Con, is also, as Steve mentioned earlier, the players like Patino, players like Kiddo Taylor-Wright, Salah, and Hutchison. You're seeing different youth players coming through again, more like Arsenal-esque type players.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to. I know they ain't going to get much opportunity with this crunch time of the season, but it's always good to see. Arsenal always had a history of that, bringing up the youth players to come and train with the first team, get that experience, and eventually break their way into the first team. That's the whole aim with it. But going back to the whole process thing, I just want to add, there's like the fellow in here in the comments saying about defensively and all this stuff. Arsenal, the thing with me, with this whole process, and I think a lot of people who go and who watch Arsenal religiously, all I want is a team that when they go out there and play, gives it everything for 90 minutes. Listen, there's teams, Liverpool and City, they're like quite a few years ahead of us. And we're not going to catch them by going out and spending loads of money. The only way we're going to catch them by being smart and signing young players who just before their peak, so that when they do peak, not every club in the world is looking at them. Because we can't go out and compete and sign these top players like Mbappe and Haaland. So we need to get the players in, like we're going to get them when no one else is ready to buy them because they're not quite there yet. But then with a year with us, because the thing with this team is we're all Arsenal and this young team, that we're all coming up together. They're all building up with each other. They're all at the same sort of stage. And as Arsenal is growing this season, the players are growing. So like you look at your Ben Whites, your Ramsdales, your Tomiyasu's, these players. At the beginning of the season, I didn't have much expectation this season because we had such a young squad. But where they've been getting to know each other, playing week in, week out, they're building this bond and it's making the team stronger and they're becoming more compact. And that has got to be credit to Arteta and Edu, to be honest. I mean, they've obviously made these signings. They've put their neck on the line. I mean, we have trusted many processes in the past, and this is just another one in the line of processes. So I do get why people are a bit comprehensive about it, because although we should be getting top four, as Arsenal Football Club, a big club we are, we shouldn't be going, it's brilliant, we're getting top four. We should be getting top four. We should be, I'm not saying we need to win the league every year, but Arsenal need to be challenging for the Premier League, at least. I'm not expecting us to go out and win it and compete with the likes of City all the time, but we should be in the Champions League minimum, and we should be getting top four minimum. As a club of our size, the amount they charge us week in, week out, the amount of money the club earns, it's just the reason we've fallen down so far is because of the previous regime of directors. The club was managed so badly that we've had to resort to this type of process where we're buying young again, because we've just wasted so much money from mismanagement of contracts, etc., that we're now in this process where we're trying to build again. And I do trust everything Mikel's doing. I love the style of play. I love the players he's brought in, and long may it continue. But I think we should be, as a fans, we should be challenging at least 2 points off, 3 points off top four every season without fail. We shouldn't be finishing 8th like we have done the last few years. Even with that team, I know that team, you're saying it's not Arteta's team, blah, blah. And I get that, because I didn't like that team. And now I do like the team we've got. I can feel like I like the players. But we should have been doing better at the beginning. And obviously, I get he's naive. It's his first job and he's learning. But I do think we have got a good manager. And I do trust the process. But I do think the first 2 years were a bit up and down. And finally, I think we are starting to see some progress now. But I don't think it's all been plain sailing the whole time, to be honest with you.
No, it definitely hasn't. It definitely hasn't. But what I will say on that is we don't have any God-given right to be that top four. You look at the other teams that are in and around that. You've got Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, just off the bat. And that's in any given season. Those four teams would be thinking, they wouldn't even be having conversations with their fan base about, are we in top four? They'd be going, are we going for the league? Because they're every single one of them clubs, their owners have invested year upon year, year in, year out over the last 10 years. Whereas ours have been in and out, bitty, like not sure on trusting the manager, new manager in, not sure on actually trust. It's like it's all over the place. So it's now it feels like it's a time where everyone's backing each other. The owners trust the managers trust the owner, and we're seeing the fruits of that labour now.
Look, just quickly, the players are playing for Mikel, and that's the most important thing.
Correct.
They are putting in a shift. They're elite, putting blood, sweat, and tears. They're coming off, and they've worked hard for that badge on the shirt. Yeah. And that's all that matters. And if the manager's getting that out of them, then he's doing something right. Because a lot's gone on at the club. That look at Lacazette, for instance, best mate Aubameyang. Everyone's saying he's treated badly. He's putting in the biggest shift I've seen from him in 5 years. He's been here every week, playing for the shirt and playing for the manager, and every player is doing that. And I don't mean to say we've got a God-given right to get in the top four, because we haven't. No one's got. But like you just said, with them clubs thinking we should be challenging for at least the top four every season. And the last 2 years, we haven't done that. Let's be frank. And this is the first year that we had.
There's a comment there about the only way we're going to catch Liverpool, City and Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. Well, if we win our game in hand, we're 3 points behind Chelsea. So there's not really that much catching to do at this present moment in time. But ultimately, Man United have got the biggest net spend in Europe over the last 5 years. What have they won in that period? Nothing, as far as I can see. So you've got to understand that it's not just about going out and picking off these players. Now, with what's happened outside of football this week, there may be some serious. I can remember having numerous conversations about Usmanov a few years ago, and everyone was like, "That's who we want. Get him in. He'll be the man. He'll spend the money." Well, what a plus that was, giving him a wide berth and avoiding him, because ultimately we could be wound up as a football club within the next 6 months, or certainly we wouldn't be having any spending power. So there will be some implications on Chelsea with what's happening with Abramovich. He might even sell the club, I would suggest, because the chances of him returning there are now zero, I would say. So with regards to looking at money, yes, money helps, but money only helps, as Man United have proved, if you're wise and you're spending it and you've got the right people doing the deals, which is exactly why Arsenal didn't go and buy someone in January, because I've already said we're only going to buy someone if the right player comes up. And the right player clearly didn't come up in that window. So it's, well, we'll go with what we've got for the next 18 games and we'll review it again in the summer when our options are going to be better.
Yeah,
I think the important thing is that we challenge, and like you said, Kieran, you have got Man City, you have got Liverpool, you have got Chelsea, you have got Manchester United. And at the beginning of the season, there's not even a conversation that they're not in the top four. They're saying they're in the top four. So that just shows you how difficult it is for Arsenal, how difficult it is for Tottenham. And so, you know, again, we talked earlier about the process. So I'm happy to see us challenge. You know, I'm happy to see us challenge, because every season's an absolute battle for that top four place. And, you know, people laughing now that when Arsene Wenger, you always used to say top four is a trophy. Well, to me, it is. It is a trophy, and it's a bigger trophy than the FA Cup and the League Cup.
Yeah, it is a trophy. It is mystic.
It's certainly a financial trophy, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. What as we get into finances now, as Simon and Con will definitely know, season ticket prices have gone up. It's looking like the increase is going to be about £49, and it's depending on whether we're in Europe, no Europe. Average season ticket prices are 1,010. If we get the Europa League, it's 1,095, and if we get the UEFA Champions League, it's 129. 1,219. Sorry, Simon. They started off with a big statement at the start of this announcement, and you knew it was going to be bad when they start off by saying that for the last 7 consecutive seasons, all season match tickets have stayed the same, and then they come in and say, but as of next season, you're going to get a 4% rise. Was that to be expected, sir?
So if you look at the bigger picture, you've set it up. So 8 years with a ticket freeze. The last 2 seasons, as a business, we've lost £155 million. Now, obviously, a lot of that has been down to COVID. You've only got to look at your own circumstances at home, read the paper, look at the news, and see what's happening with inflation, fuel, and stuff like that. All those things, bear in mind, are still sort of supplied to Arsenal. So nobody wants to see price rises. Nobody likes to see it. You know, you don't want to see the train fares going up. You don't want to see the you don't want to see tickets going up. You don't want to see a pint of beer going up. But unfortunately, in the bigger picture, in the wider world, that's going to happen. So you'll get people that say, well, the Kroenkes should just absorb all of these costs and things like that. Well, but they have absorbed costs because they've lost 155 million, and they've bailed us out from the banks in the last few years to actually make it easier for us to finance what we're doing. So I can't really deny that it was going to happen sooner or later. And it's probably it's not just going to be Arsenal. I think you're going to see that across the board. So I'm not surprised. You don't want them to go up, but I can see why it's been done.
Yeah. Jerome, the inevitable happening right now, or do you think Arsenal should have continued with this price freeze?
Oh, it's a tough one, and obviously it affects different people in different ways. I think, and like Simon said, no one wants to see ticket prices go up. Just very quickly on it, what I will say is that if they improve the stadium, make it top draw, do these improvements, go out in the summer, sign some excellent players, I think that will not justify the increase, but it just goes a little way to help. But yeah, it's a delicate situation for people, and it's not nice, but it's just one of those. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. Yeah.
Con, you're going to be hit by the increase expected.
Oh yeah, like Simon said, the prices have been up and down for a while, only because of when we first dropped out of Champions League. Don't you remember, some they went down a little bit, didn't they? And then when we dropped out of Europe, they went down a little bit more, like a discount. But the thing I didn't really like, yeah, it's one of them things. We're gonna have to pay it, because if we don't pay it, they know that they've got you by the cojones, really, because there's a queue of 15 years queue worth of people who are willing to pay it. So you're gonna pay it. The only thing I don't like is you're supposed to get the thing with Arsenal was different. We pay a bit more than other clubs because we get like the cup games and stuff included. So like when we're in Europe, we get all the home ties. I think it's up to 8. I think, isn't it?
8, 7, I think. And
7. So if you get you get your 3 home ties in Europe, then if you get a couple of home ties in the cup, then you get them. Plus, if you go further in Europe, you get a couple of them as well. So the price, you think, fair enough, we're a bit more than, say, another club, but they've got to buy their tickets when they get into a cup game or a European game.
Yeah.
But obviously, this season, we've had not one cup game to go to because we got knocked out away to Nottingham Forest. So we didn't get no FA Cup run. We're not in Europe, so we didn't get no cup run. So we've lost a bit of value there, which is a bit sour taste. And I get it. People say why don't they just swallow it? It's only £3 million. I do get it, but it's a good bit of PR. It's the right time to do it. We're on a good run, and they've just gone, yeah, we're upping it. But like you say, it's inevitable with everything that's going up in the world. 4% to me, because we've got a couple, it adds up a little bit. But I suppose that's the thing. If you want to go to the games, you got to pay it. So I mean, I will be doing it. I'm sure 99.9% of people with season tickets will do it as well. But I feel sorry there's that old age pensioners who didn't want to give up their season tickets because they've sat next to these people for years. So they're still paying the top whack just to sit near these people. And obviously then it's going up more. But 50 quid to me and 50 quid to someone else, it's different. So, I mean, it's a shame that they've had to do it, considering we haven't got no guarantee of Europe yet. But, I mean, it like everything else in the world at the minute, everything's going up. So I think, like Simon said, a lot of clubs will follow suit, and it's just one of them things, really.
Yeah. Steve, what was your thoughts on the situation with the price rise? Some people can't afford it.
Yeah, first thought was what brilliant timing, eh? When everyone's buzzing and everyone's jumping around on Twitter, and after I just thought it was excellent timing for them to do it. But look, it's the boys have already said it. Really, it is the way of the world. Things go up, everything goes up. Your Sky goes up, your gas, everything goes up. Nothing ever comes down. And look, I mean, for 7 years now, they haven't put them up. So I think you have to take that into considerations where other clubs have gone up. And I can remember 7 years ago when they first said that their tickets wasn't going to go up for quite a long while, and that was because a lot of people were moaning because obviously we know that we are the dearest out there. So they did freeze them, and they've freezed them for quite a while. So I think they've been fair. I think Jerome made a good point. I think it'd be good to see it go, in the right places. Into transfers or into the stadiums, and not into Stan Kroenke's back pocket. But that's something we're never going to be privy to. But yeah, Con said, it's sad for there might be that little bit of money where where now someone can't go, and that's sad. I mean, I think my season ticket went up 300 quid one year. I'm going back a long time now, and that stopped me from going because so. Yeah, there's been probably times where it's been a lot worse, but yeah, it's the way of the world. Things go up. It's not great. I just hope it doesn't stop anybody from going, and I hope that people still will be going back next season, and they won't have to not give up their season ticket, because, like Con said, that they have got you by the balls, because they know there's always going to be someone who's going to take it off them. So,
and just to add on that, I just think, look, everyone's going to pay it, yeah, and I know that, but we are the most expensive out there, and I think, do they really need to rise it? They're already earning a lot of money out of season tickets, and a lot of money out of general tickets, with the hospitality, everything else they do, all the money, the amount of money they charge on the concourse for a bit of grub. It's like all these things. You think they've done it 4%, because then when you think about it yourself, 40 quid, like, you can afford that. But I just think there is, like, when my old season ticket, there was a couple of old boys there who had they sat next to a couple of other people who they've been sitting there since they went to the ground. And they could, I know they do like a discounted one. You can move to like the family enclosure and get like a discounted one if you're an OAP. But they didn't want to move because they wanted to stay with the people who they've been going with for donkey's years. And like that 50 quid to someone like that might be a lot of money. And it might stop from going. And it's sad because everyone goes because they love going and they love seeing that same person. Some of these people I sit next to, I don't even know their name, but the amount of hugs I've given them over the years is brilliant. And it's like, you love that. You love sitting next to them people. And to some people, they might be pushing them over the edge. And you think, is it really worth it? 3 million when they could have sold Eddie and Nketiah for 10 million last season and 3 now. Like that 3 million you've just given Aubameyang 6 million, 7 million for him to go and play for another thing. And I just think, why has it got to come back to us again after everything you've done in the Super League? I get
what the most important thing for me is, as Jerome frees these price tickets.
Have I what? Sorry, freed my what?
Have you freeze your price tickets this year? Like, are you?
Right, yeah. No, gone down. They've gone down.
That's what I can say. Yeah, good.
He's a money man, old Jerome. He knows what he's doing. All right. That is all we have time for. We've actually gone over. Thank you, everyone who's joined us tonight. Thank you, everyone in the comments section as well. And why not as well? Appreciate you coming in. You know what I mean? You got to You've got to go against the grain sometimes. It can't be all everyone agreeing with each other, mate. So it's good. The couple of new people I've seen there, so make sure you press that like and subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook, come over to KS1 TV, change the settings so we can see who you are and you're not just the egg. If you're watching, you're not watching on Twitter because I took it down halfway through. So yeah, you have to come over to KS1 TV to watch it. It's a little teaser. You can watch the start of it, but if you want to watch the rest of it, you got to come over here.
I like that. That's a good bit of advertising. I like that.
Right. Thank you, everyone who joined us tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, Con.
Cheers, boys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight, Simon.
Yeah, as always, thanks for having me on, Kieran. Enjoyed it.
And thank you very much for joining us tonight, Mr. Tom Jones in the room.
Always pleasure.
Are you going to sing us out?
Are you going to sing us out? There you go. There you go.
Excellent.
That's for anyone who wanted to buy that off of me. All proceeds go to KS1 TV and any extras that we will be getting. All right. Thank you for joining us, people. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands.